This is Burn This Book, a podcast where we, Nicole and Eden, read a banned or challenged book and discuss its meaning, impact, and censorship to make it more accessible for all readers. And you are tuning into our summer literacy program where we pick a literary device and we explain it. Our hope is that you'll be able to use it as you continue to read through these frequently challenged and banned books. And today we are literally talking about literalism.
Literally, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that boy on the Ellen DeGeneres show? And he would
Literally?
say, literally. Times to be cherished.
Simpler times.
Do you have a definition or do you want me to give one?
So, literalism is interpreting text only at face value without considering deeper meanings, context, or literary techniques. The example that we thought of after we recorded this episode the first time, where we had a lot of trouble
defining this,
is Amelia Bedelia.
Yes, so good. Did you know I dressed up like her for a birthday party, for someone's birthday party?
What?
And get this. I showed up in like a little like Amelia Bedelia kind of maid outfit, and then I cut out the squares of a calendar from like, so I'd have like one square would say like Tuesday, December 5th, Wednesday, December 4th. Or Wednesday, December 6th, Thursday, December 7th. And I cut them out, put them on a plate and salt and peppered them. And I brought them and I said, I brought dessert, I brought dates. And people loved it. Because that's Amelia Bedelia's whole thing is hearing something like, you got to dress the turkey. And she puts clothes on a turkey because she doesn't understand
the curtains,
the colloquial definition. Yeah. She doesn't understand the connotation of a word. It's very funny. Very funny gal.
Silly.
Good costume, though. Especially for a gal like me who doesn't dress up ever.
Wait, well, that wasn't dressing up much, right?
Well, I wear a maid outfit. I wear like a whole thing. It was like it was a whole thing.
How old were you?
It was like last year. It was for someone's birthday party.
Oh, it was last year?
Yes. It was Dominique. Dominique had a birthday party, or it was 2 years ago. And she loves children's books, so we all had to dress up like our favorite children's
really
book
cute
character. Yes, it was so cute.
Amelia Bedelia, that's good.
Yeah. Can I share I know, real chatty now. Can I share another example that I wanted to share before, but I couldn't find her?
Yeah.
And it's so good. Okay, so her name is Rachel Held Evans. Some of you may know who she is, but she was really famous in the progressive Christian world because she would blog and she was very, very authentic about her relationship with religion and being a woman in the Christian church. And she wrote a lot of books. And one of the books that she wrote was A Year of Biblical Womanhood. And so she lived her life to the letter of how a woman should live in the Bible. So when she was on her period, she couldn't touch her husband or any man for that matter. She had to sleep in a tent outside in the backyard, like things like that. And she had to call her husband master. She was like, in an interview with the Huffington Post, she said, he was as weirded out as I was. It seems like it should have been a turn on, but it really wasn't. And she like did all these like really intense things. And it was very like tongue in cheek kind of because she documented it. And so, yeah, so she couldn't dance. Like she went to a wedding during her period with her husband and people would be like, do you want to dance? Like, can you guys dance? Why don't you guys dance? And she would say like, I'm on my period. I'm not allowed to. And, and it was so funny. So she also covered her head for the entire year, never cut her hair because of what it said in Corinthians 11. Her hair and scalp were so unhealthy during that time. Like it was awful. And so she did this whole thing. And what she did was like, she kind of exposed that when you interpret a text literally that was made for a certain population and you interpret it in your own context, or you apply it in your own situation, it doesn't always translate well. It wasn't written for her context. And so she just kind of threw it on its head. She ended up dying of cancer later on, but like that work really impacted women in evangelical Christianity because they were like, oh, you can't do this. And also, you can't apple pick and say that you have to literally obey this piece, but not that piece. It's
Mm-hmm.
very fascinating. But so she played with literalism in a fun way. Love her. Rachel Held Evans.
That is really fun. I have not read this book, um, but there's another book that does written by someone. I should look it up. But it's called "The Year of Living Constitutionally: One Man's Humble Quest to Follow the Constitutional's Original Meaning" by A.J. Jacobs. Uh, let's see. Yeah, so this came out in 2024. And
Okay.
so, like, in the wake of several controversial rulings by the Supreme Court and the ongoing debate about how the Constitution should be interpreted, Jacob set
Mm.
out to understand what it means to live by the Constitution. So he tries to get into the minds of the founding fathers by living as closely as possible to the original meaning of the Constitution. So,
So, what did that look like in his day to day? Do you know?
it says, well, right here it says he asserts his right to free speech by writing his opinions on parchment with a quill and handing them out to strangers in Times Square. He consents to quartering a soldier, as is his Third Amendment right. He turns his home into a traditional 1790s household by lighting candles instead of using electricity, boiling mutton, and because women were not allowed to sign contracts, feebly attempting to take over his wife's day job, which
Oh my
involves
gosh.
a lot of contract negotiations. So just like this one's also a little tongue in cheek as well.
Yeah.
Of yeah, of just like it to literally to pick up a piece of text and
Ignore its
literally
context. Yeah.
ignore the whole context.
Yeah.
I mean, the
The background,
Constitution
the meaning. Yeah.
was written back when some people were not considered people and were considered property.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, are we going to be literally interpreting a text that does not even acknowledge that some people are not people?
Oof.
So, yeah, I don't know.
That's a big oof. I
That is a
think,
big oaf.
yeah, it's interesting because that's why writing is such an art. That's why it's creative.
Hmm.
Because a good writer uses so many parables and you can take multiple meanings from things and you can attach different emotions to it and you can apply it to your own life, even if you don't have the same experience as the writer. And that's why it is creative because it can like it's very it has good writing is very human, and it's not sterile the way that literal readers try to approach things.
Hmm.
This is why the Satanic Panic was so like spread like wildfire because
Hmm.
people read these books that were that had any sort of like undertone of the occult and they took it very literally,
Hmm.
making them feel like these authors had these intentions that were very dark and mysterious and creepy, that their children were vulnerable if they read the book. They gave so much power to things that don't actually have any power
Hmm.
and projected different contexts and meanings to things based on their own fears. And I think that's why literalism can be really risky when reading a text.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A shout out to our episode on Dungeons and Dragons and the Satanic Panic
Woo!
back in
Amen.
season one.
Yeah, season one. I know, wild, huh?
Yeah, that is
Time has
wild.
gone by.
It has.
So slowly, slowly. Actually, it's gone by quite quickly. Uh, so I think, yeah, what is like, I don't know I don't have anything else to say about literalism other than, is there a time we should read things within the framework of literalism? What do you think?
Uh, Non-literature. So, like, I'm
Like
thinking like l-
contracts?
contracts, legal
Yeah.
documents, HR policies. Like,
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of those are
Not
not
up for
up for
interpretation.
interpretation. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But I
Wonderful.
think everything else, like, I mean, even the Bible, like, Bible is full of symbolism. And
Mhm.
so it is interesting to me that people do read it quite literally.
Mhm.
Like literally believing that the world was created in 7 days.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, that has not that never affected my faith at all in
Yeah.
any way,
Yeah.
reading it literally or not.
Something that I think about a lot when it comes to a literal read is how we interpret media, like modern news.
Mm,
I do think journalism and reporting should be read literally.
mhm,
Like, I think that's how conspiracy theories form, is like when you hear a statement by a politician and then you just start like plugging together, like the third letter was a P, the fifth letter was a D, like what are
mhm,
they really trying to say, or like that's a euphemism for this. Like, no, good politicians, good leaders, good communicators in official spaces speak in literalism, and we need to interpret it that way too. We should
mhm,
take things for face value. um Obviously we can use critical thinking, obviously,
uh-huh,
but I think that that is how conspiracy theory spreads like wildfire. Is like, I remember there was this years ago, this was a different controversy with who's that comedian who's really anti-trans. It's
Dave
like one of the most,
Chappelle?
yeah. Okay, so this is pre Dave Chappelle being really using a lot of homophobia in his comedy. Back in the day, after he disappeared from the Dave Chappelle show and like got out of the limelight, he returned and did a few interviews, and he like talked in vague terms about Hollywood and expectations of being a black man in Hollywood and all these other things. People interpreted that and took so many things from those interviews that he did not say blatantly. He didn't
Mhm,
even um, like lead us there. Like, there was no metaphor of it. They just took things and made like wild assumptions about cults in Hollywood, about honestly, they were pretty adjacent to the Pizzagate stuff about like powerful
mm,
people and pedophiles. Um, but it was different than the Epstein stuff.
uh-huh,
But I think that was really dangerous because it created this fuel to this fire of stuff that Dave Chappelle never said.
yeah,
And so I do think when it comes to public figures, we do need to take their words literally, and we need to
mhm,
read reporting literally,
mhm,
and not just keep Pam Bondi saying she's got the Epstein files on her desk. We should take that literally.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if it isn't art
Yes.
if it isn't art, take it literally.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna edit a lot of what I said out, but that's okay. So I guess we don't have anything else to say. This is a quick one. This is great.
This was a quick one. Uh, Before we close, I guess we can talk about some like banned books examples.
Yes, please.
So Huck Finn, literal readings of it missed Mark Twain's anti-racism message and focused only on offensive language.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
Handmaid's Tale is mistaken as promoting dystopia rather than warning against it.
Ooh.
13 Reasons Why, literal reading misses mental health commentary. Yeah, I
Is it
think it's,
kind of like you're missing the forest for the trees?
yeah,
Is that the
I
saying?
think missing the tree for the forest. I don't know.
Missing, you don't see the forest because you're just looking at the tree.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. That's the saying. You
Ooh,
do
I
not
don't.
see the forest because you're busy looking at the tree that's in front of you.
Yes, okay.
Sorry.
I don't know. I still don't feel confident about it, but I believe, but we get the gist. We get the
Yeah,
gist.
we get the gist.
Getting caught up on the silly stuff.
Getting caught up in the silly stuff, just taking things out of context. Uh, yeah, that's it. That's literally it.
Okay, bravo.
Bravo. Well, thank you,
Woo.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Burn This Book was produced by us, Eden and Nicole.
Music was written by me, Nicole, and performed by my dad, Frank. Bye-bye, Dad.
Bye-bye, Dad.
Bye-bye, Dad.
All right.
Okay, I feel good about that. All right.